For almost 30 years, Bill Hemmer has brought America the news that matters most. The Fox News host has reported from Afghanistan and Iraq war zones, covered the events of 9/11 from the scene of the crime, and has presided over coverage of every significant political event that has taken place since the Florida recount. The moment news breaks, his visage is the first thing people think about. In times of national crises, his voice remains a constant presence. However, his personal tale is noticeably missing from the public record. Hemmer has never tied the knot at the age of 60. After breaking off his engagement to supermodel Dara Tamanovic in 2013, he remained remarkably silent about his love life. Over time, he has been associated with practically every female colleague at Fox News, according to the Snorts rumor mill. He was compelled to clarify rumors regarding his sexuality following an event in 2019 involving a photo that had been altered. However, the real impact of devoting one's life to a demanding vocation cannot be adequately addressed by these superficial reasons. Most people seldom think about the cost of living a life of complete public glamour, yet that is precisely why Hemmer is still single. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Bill Hemmer's early love for broadcasting blossomed during high school, setting him on the road to become one of the most trusted news anchors in America. Through his work as host of a student radio program, he was able to interact with classmates and others of the community, honing communication and timing abilities that would serve him well in his professional life. There was no slacking off here. It was clear from Hemmer's intense musical approach to broadcasting even as a teenager that this was about more than just a natural fascination. When Hemmer arrived to Miami University, he was already fully devoted to journalism. A career defined by unflinching commitment was laid by his studies in broadcast journalism and media studies, in which he plunged music himself. Quickly after finishing college, he got his big break in the television industry, reporting sports for WCPO-TV in Cincinnati. Hemmer had already developed the rapid thinking and accuracy necessary for the job. Someone was off about him, according to his co-workers. He couldn't stand to remain at a desk while stories were occurring elsewhere and wanted nothing more than to be at the center of the action. Big networks took notice of that initiative. Hemmer went from being a regional anchor to a national star after accepting a chance from CNN in 1995. Throughout his 10 years at CNN, he was at the epicenter of pivotal events that shaped the late 20th and early 21st centuries. His ground reporting during the controversial Florida recount in the 2000 presidential election helped cement his reputation. Hemmer proved he could handle high-stakes events, with precision, earning him the nickname the Chad Lad for his thorough coverage of ballot irregularities. More than that, though, he shown a willingness to spend weeks away from home, staying in hotels and eating meals in the middle of live shots, all in order to be present for the stories developing. His dedication went beyond just covering domestic news. Hemmer covered stories in Afghanistan after September 11 that needed him to adjust to difficult circumstances and navigate complicated international problems. These jobs were not taken on by journalists in order to promote their careers. They were missions that required giving one's life, putting one's health at danger, and being far from home for long periods of time. By signing up with Fox News in 2005, Hemmer took the most daring step of his career. Along with Donna Perino, he became America's newsroom co-anchor and the show's defining partner. Their musical on-screen chemistry and professional relationship made the show a staple on Fox News' morning lineup. People tuned in to hear Hemmer's calm, collected reporting approach in addition to the breaking news. One of the leading news anchors on the network, he was able to maintain his composure over wildly unpredictable news cycles. During his nearly 20 years at Fox, Hemmer established himself as a journalist who values honesty over sensationalism. As a result of his unwavering commitment to his job, millions of viewers learned to rely on him as an authoritative voice in times of crisis. Few on the outside could fathom the cost of that faith, though. He was so focused on his work that he barely had time for anything or anyone else in his life. Bill Snorts Hemmer has been remarkably private about his private life despite his prominent profession. In contrast to his broadcast peers, who frequently discuss personal milestones with audiences, he hardly gives glimpses into relationships on social media or in interviews. Because of his reserved nature, countless theories have circulated regarding his love life and decisions. From 2005 until 2013, he was in a public eye for his relationship with Canadian model, music, Dara Tamanovic. Tamanovic had supposedly become one of the most famous faces in fashion in Paris when the two met. Found on a visit to the French capital when Karl Lagerfeld was 18 years old. She spent 5 years amassing an excellent portfolio while becoming Chloe's face. She wasn't part of Heimer's serious journalism world. She worked with L'Oréal, made appearances in Marie Claire and British Vogue, and so on. They added glitz to Heimer's generally low-key life through their relationship. Heimer and Tamanovic went to a number of events together over the course of their 8-year relationship, but they never once talked about it in public. Despite being a famous couple, they were able to keep a low profile, which gave them privacy. Their mutual friends said the duo was completely polar opposites. She lives in a world of photo shoots and fashion displays, while he lives in a world of political reporting and breaking news. They persevered and succeeded for 8 years. Plus, it came to a close in 2013. There have been no carefully worded news releases, explanations, or public declarations regarding the growing apart or remaining friends. No sound at all. Simply said, Heimer's romance, which had shaped his private life, vanished. Driving under the influence led to Tamanovic's detention not long after they broke up. The episode aroused the interest of the media, who began to examine her relationships and social life, especially her past with Heimer. For the fiercely private anchor, seeing his ended relationship examined in gossip columns must have reinforced every instinct he had about keeping personal matters hidden. For what reasons did a relationship that lasted 8 years end? Those in the know said that the pressures of their music careers made it impossible to overcome the obstacles they faced. He was always on the go due to his busy schedule. Florida was under hurricane coverage for days. Traveling for weeks to attend political conventions was a given. Being a part of international news meant abruptly departing the nation. Even though Tamanovic's modeling profession was mostly located in one place, it nevertheless required her to keep a very tight schedule. However, another thing was picked up by Fox colleagues. Heimer had assumed more responsibility at the network just before the dissolution. His personal life was constantly in flux since he was dedicated to being available for significant breaking news stories. After this connection, Heimer no longer acknowledged having a romantic relationship in public. Never again did he declare a relationship or make an appearance in public with a romantic partner after 2013, further isolating himself from the public eye. In keeping with his profession as a journalist who values the story more than self-promotion, his reluctance to divulge personal details became an integral part of his public character. However, he remained silent, which led to rampant speculation. There has been a lot of public guesswork about Heimer's private life due to the secrecy. His fans and followers are curious as to why he has chosen to remain unmarried for such a prominent and well-respected public figure. Some have speculated that his commitment to journalism could be the reason behind his bachelor status. More importantly, speculations circulated about almost every woman he appeared with due to the total lack of verifiable partnerships following Tamanovic. Their intense chemistry while broadcasting led to recurrent relationship allegations between him and Sandra Smith, his former co-anchor on America's Newsroom. After much conjecture, news outlets finally broke the story that Smith is married to marketing expert John Connolly and has a family with him. Aside from their professional rapport, the rumors about the music had no basis. But they continued nevertheless. Megyn Kelly came next. Many people thought they were romantically involved because of their cordial on-air exchanges while they were both employed by Fox News. Defending their status as just good friends and colleagues, Kelly and Heimer addressed the allegations in separate interviews. Respect for one another's professional abilities was the foundation of their relationship, Kelly stressed. Heimer agreed, but neither of them could put an end to the rumors only by denying it. It appeared like no one could believe that two beautiful, accomplished TV stars could be buddies. The most persistent rumors concern his relationship with Dana Perino. They spend a lot of time together every day as co-anchors of America's Newsroom, honing their chemistry and shorthand that makes for entertaining television. Numerous people have speculated that there may be a love relationship between them due to their smooth chemistry, mutual regard, and seeming ease with one another. The married Perino has never commented on the claims. And Heimer hasn't either. It looks like they're taking a hands-off approach, preferring to let their work do the talking instead than fueling speculation. Hemer sat down next to Mara Maples at New York Fashion Week in February 2019. Considering their seating arrangement, it appeared as though Maples and Trump were attending the same event. Maples is an actress and TV personality who became famous during her marriage to Donald Trump from 1993 until 1999. The photos started dating rumors right away. The media pounced on their proximity to one another at the same public event, as well as their seating arrangements and body language. Nothing ever came of it, though, as has happened with every prior reported romance. There has been no confirmation, no subsequent sightings, and no connection. Nothing more than yet another round of fruitless speculation about music. Afterwards, Hemer was compelled to make an unusual public confession regarding his private life due to an occurrence. Some people on the internet started claiming that a shirtless photo of Hemer was floating around. People started talking and making assumptions about his sexuality because of the photo. The photo was later proven to be an edited version of an original shot of Tiger Woods, but by then, the harm had already been done. Some speculated that Hemer might be gay based on his lack of public partnerships, which sparked conversations regarding his sexual orientation following the incident. Following Hemer's submission of the photo editing event to the authorities, a media source published an article confirming his heterosexuality. Hemer seemingly put an end to suspicions by making an unusual on-air comment about a lover. However, he failed to divulge any information, name, or affirmation of a continuing relationship. His focus seems to be more on music, establishing facts to stop negative speculation, and less on revealing his personal life. All these rumors follow the same pattern, which is quite telling. Every single one of the claimed relationships has included someone he worked with or was seen with at a public event. The customary signs of a relationship, such as going on dates or having romantic dinners, have never materialized. In response to Hemer's quiet, the rumor mill has filled the space with speculation, drawing more attention to the public's insatiable curiosity than to any truth about Hemer's existence beyond the surface level. In earlier music interviews, Hemer hinted at the rigorous nature of his job, suggesting that a news anchor's unpredictable and intensive schedule doesn't allow much room for partnerships. Covering high-stakes events is emotionally taxing, requires continual travel, and makes a journalist's life exceptionally difficult. It seems like his dedication to his job influences his personal decisions. Hemer exemplifies the extreme amount of commitment necessary to succeed in the news industry. His unwavering dedication to being present at the scenes of significant news events is demonstrated by his readiness to travel for such topics as covering the Iraq War, hurricanes, or political conventions. Hemer may have chosen to prioritize his work above his family life, given his dedication, which frequently came at the cost of his personal time. Take Hemer's music, level-breaking news anchor's normal week as an example. In order to check the news, get ready for interviewees, and collaborate with producers, morning show hosts usually get up before the sun comes up. They arrive at the studio hours before the show airs to film. However, that is only the beginning. Those plans go boom as soon as big music news hits. The deployment to disaster zones can last for days or weeks in the event of a natural disaster. The term political events refers to trips to states that host conventions or primaries. Being prepared to host special coverage at any moment is essential during international emergencies. Hemer has always offered to take on these challenging tasks. In the event of a hurricane, he is one of the first to go out on deployment. He is available for on-the-ground coverage during elections. This tendency of making appearances at big news events a priority has guided his career, but it's impossible for him to keep stable relationships outside of work. Having the option to depart for a week with only 12 hours' notice makes it difficult to develop a life with a partner. When urgent news breaks, how do they arrange dinners, vacations, or other meaningful personal events? Many people see Hemer's decision to stay single as a sign of his unwavering commitment to his job, which not everyone can match. A feature of Hemer's character in an industry where steadiness and routine are rare is his focus on journalism. It seems like this lifelong commitment is what has kept him single. However, another factor must be taken into account. The newsroom is now more than simply a place of employment for Hemer. It's a place of solace and joy, like a second home. A large portion of his life revolves around his professional ties, especially those he has at Fox News. He and Dana Perino's long-running co-anchorship is more than just a professional partnership. A relationship forged through years of triumphs and tribulations, characterized by mutual respect and trust. These professional relationships frequently serve as a substitute for the personal connections that people typically seek in a high-stakes, fast-paced job. Whenever Hemer shares a photo of herself or one of her female co-workers on social media, the tone is always professional and courteous. Although fans occasionally wonder if Hemer is in a relationship, he always keeps his personal and professional life separate, never mentioning a romantic interest or any relationships outside of work. The fact that he is able to maintain a wall between his personal and professional life is evidence that he views the newsroom as an extended family. Hemer finds joy and camaraderie through these relationships, which spare her the sacrifices and responsibilities of marriage. Maybe he's happy where he is professionally, with a supporting network that lets him pursue his dream of being a journalist, and that's why he's chosen to stay single. Hemer is well known for his community engagement and charity endeavors outside of his journalism job, Clear's Throat. As a yearly tribute to his grandpa, he travels back to Cincinnati to preside over the George Nettle Memorial Bailey Place Golf Classic. As a way to give back to the community and honor his roots, Hemer is hosting this event to benefit Bailey Senior Living. Even if his family doesn't follow the conventional model, his involvement in this annual event shows that he values family and service to others. Hemer has been quite vocal in his support of veterans, volunteering for organizations that recognize and appreciate their service. Volunteering with the Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America illustrates his gratitude for military service and his aspiration to make a significant impact beyond the realm of journalism. Such altruistic endeavors demonstrate a dedication to public service beyond what is required by one's job. Some have speculated that Hemer's decision to remain single has freed him from the pressures of juggling his family life, his charitable work, and his professional obligations, allowing him to devote more time and energy to the causes that are important to him. He puts a greater sense of commitment to music above personal attachments because he is unmarried and can devote himself fully to these endeavors. Many factors, including Bill Hemer's professional obligations, his moral compass, and his need for solitude, contributed to his decision to stay single. The meticulous cultivation of his public character enables him to devote himself totally to journalism, free from the distractions that frequently come with a prominent personal life, by placing an emphasis on his job and upholding secrecy. Hemer has a devoted fan base because he always reports the news calmly and honestly, and his desire to live a secluded life shows that he is serious about letting his job do the talking. Hemer has, time and again, shown poise and constancy in navigating the complex intersection of his work, his privacy, and his personal choices. His decision to live a life committed to journalism and public service seems to have more to do with his choices than with whatever shortcomings he may have. Analyzing Hemer's life paints a picture of a person, music, who has purposefully built their life around a single passion. Although some may see his single status as a sign of giving up something or passing up an opportunity, it could instead be a reflection of how well his ideals and lifestyle align. Never in his public life has Hemer hinted that he feels his life is lacking or apologized for his own decisions. He finds social and emotional support through his professional contacts. Some people might focus their caring energies on their families, while he channels them via his charitable activities. Journalism is his life's work, and it fulfills him. All of these things come together to make his life fulfilling, even though it deviates from conventional norms. Snorts, living one's true self in the face of societal expectations for specific achievements takes guts. Cultural narratives around marriage, children, and traditional family structures are so pervasive that people are quick to pass judgment or speculate when people choose a different path. For decades, Hemer has been the target of intrusive inquiries, wild speculation, and rumors concerning his private life. But he has kept his distance, not letting anyone in on his private life. It is telling that he is being silent on the subject. At a time when famous people document their lives in detail on social media, Hemer's decision to keep her personal life private seems revolutionary. His failure to explain his decisions shows that he is confident in his choice. Moreover, he is under no obligation to do so. Why Bill Hemer is single isn't the main issue. That's why it's assumed, without proof, that everyone should have the same goals, timetable, and definition of success. These preconceptions are challenged by Hemer's life. The lack of a partner has no bearing on his success. A lack of children does not diminish his significance. His 3 decades of reliable journalism, selfless community involvement, and outstanding professional performance have left an indelible mark that transcends conventional familial ties. Watchers of Hemer anchors. Coverage of national catastrophes, political upheavals, and historic moments have always seen his professional presence taking precedence over his personal life. I intended it that way. Being the one to convey the news, rather than the one to create it, was Hemer's bread and butter. He feels that staying private helps him keep things separate and puts the spotlight where he thinks it should be. Based on the tales he relates instead of his own life's narrative. Hemer has crafted a life where professional success, personal happiness, and public service converge, whether it's a result of deliberate effort or the laws of nature. There is no need to solve a riddle or provide an explanation for his single position. Journalism, service, and privacy take precedence over societal norms, and this is just one facet of a meticulously planned life. In a society that is so preoccupied with discovering every detail about famous people, Hemer's reserve serves as a reminder that not every query has an answer and not every life doesn't require an explanation.